Grandma again, Miss Audrey Baker Adams. And this time it is October 7th, 2015. You know, this is almost exactly 2 years from when we started this. Okay, so we're going to do a little test run today, and we're going to do...
We're a little slow, aren't we?
You weren't supposed to bring that up on the record.
Oh, you're recording?
Yes, I'm recording now. You weren't supposed to tell people how slow I am today.
Oh, no.
That's okay. I'm sure they've all figured that out by now.
Can you erase it, honey?
No. This is fine. Okay, so we're doing our test run today, and we're going to do thanks to Dave Baker, or Alternative, as I like to call him. We're going to do the Actors Studio questions which originally started with a man named Bernard Pivot, which is a very, very French name. Okay, so what is your favorite word? That's a good question, isn't it?
Beautiful question.
Yeah.
But I got so many.
Well, to narrow it down, what's your favorite one, do you think?
I always said I'm going to use that word because it meant a lot. Now, where in the world did the word go? Well, you know how minds travel.
Well, especially mine today, yes.
Things zip in, they zip out. Like people pulling up a blind up and down. Mm-hmm. Life is precarious.
Yeah, and that's a good word too, actually, but I'm sure it's not your favorite word.
No, it's not my favorite word. I like the word, and I like the sound of the word lugubrious.
Ooh, that's a good word.
Lugubrious. But for my mental status, the moment, I can't remember what it means.
I'm pretty sure that lugubrious means if you're lugubrious, you're slow moving. You're not in a rush to do anything.
That's it at the moment.
Well, then that's apropos, which is another good word.
I will use that word, lugubrious.
Okay.
Yeah, let's settle on that one. I like the way it kind of rolls off your tongue.
There are some words that are just fun to say. Lugubrious.
Lugubrious.
One of my favorite words is a French word for grapefruit, but it's just fun to say. It's pamplemousse. It's just fun to say. I like to say it. So, lugubrious. It's your favorite word. Okay. So what is your least favorite word?
No.
That doesn't surprise me even a tiny bit. Okay. That was quick. So what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally? And let's actually do that as three separate things, because those are three separate things. So what really gets you going creatively?
An idea.
Any particular kind of idea? Because I think most
creative idea with something to do with my hands and my mind together. If something's creative, it's something for me. Creative is something I feel from the inside, and I work from the inside to the outside when it comes to creativity.
See, I think that is a great definition of creativity. I think what they're asking here, though, is what do you see? Because that's a great description of the creative process. And they might be asking this, but what I'm interested to know is what kind of makes you feel creative. Like, I know that looking at flowers sometimes is very meaningful for you. But what makes you feel like you want to go out and create?
Physically good. Because when I'm feeling physically good, I get my ideas. And one idea leads to another. That's what you call creativity.
Yeah.
One idea leads to another. And that's the way it is with me. I may decide that, like I did that special card not long ago, what I learned from water painting, and I did that frame thing, and I did the water painting inside, and it turned out beautiful.
It did.
It was gorgeous. I was proud of it myself. And I liked it so much, I want to get back to doing maybe that same thing or something similar to it.
So for you, it isn't necessarily like that you see something that makes you feel creative. It's that you need to have the opportunity and the physical strength and the stuff. And then you just do it. Not
only that, it's the idea. It's an idea that I have that maybe about a person.
Mm-hmm.
There's something special I like about a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did this very special card for Charlotte, as an example. And when I did this card for her, I did the top part of the card, and I printed it, believe it or not. I printed it by hand. And remember, when I first came here and was sick, I couldn't write.
I remember, yeah.
Well, I created, and I had to write, no more computer. Practice, and eventually I could write. So I wrote what I felt about her, and I made it sort of not... I tried to portray in words how I felt in my heart about her, applying the spiritual aspect of life regarding it, making it all related. And then when I had completed that, I was able to give her a wonderful message that let me relate to her exactly how I felt about her as a person. Her accomplishments, what her accomplishments meant to me in my life, and how that corresponded with what God requires of us as a person who believes, and she does.
And Charlotte's an extraordinary person. She has an extraordinary life.
And it just turned out to be very, very meaningful. It was the best card she received in her life.
So for you, it was what turns you on creatively. Basically, you have what it sounds like to me is you've got these ideas floating around in your head all the time. So all you need to be creative is the energy and the materials to do it.
Because people remind me.
People turn you on creatively.
People turn me on because I love people. I've been with people all of my entire life, one way or another, mostly one direction.
Well, that's also how you get your energy, is from being around other people.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's just one thing generates another. It's like electricity.
Yeah.
That moves from one to the other.
Okay, so if people really help you, give you a creative boost, what gives you a spiritual boost?
Oh, thinking about these people and the results of their life and what it means to me personally.
And then this would be the same thing for what gives you an emotional boost, because I know that's people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's all about other people.
The emotional boost comes from the result of my association with persons, live persons.
Yeah.
Because there's life there.
Yeah.
Things are happening. Things are going on. And when it's another person, we can relate. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
There's something about you that I can relate to if I want to.
Yeah. Well, that is really interesting. Well, okay, so here we get to the opposite of that. What turns you off? What makes you just want to shut down and go away? What turns off the creativity? What turns off the spiritual and the emotional? What turns you off?
Physical handicap. That's all.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that can turn me off.
Well, I know that for a fact to be true, because even when we try to get you to slow down, we're not successful. The only thing... Yeah, that's absolutely true. I can vouch for that. Okay. Now, what's your favorite curse word? I've heard you use a curse word once. I've only heard you use a curse word once. What's your favorite one? Even if you don't use it and you just like to hear it.
I can't even remember now. I didn't know there was one.
I heard you say crap once, and it made me laugh so
well.
hard I almost peed my pants.
Well, that's a pretty good word.
Is that? Would you say that's your favorite? Your favorite curse word?
Crap could be progressive.
I'm sorry. You'll have to explain that one to me. How can crap be progressive?
How can crap be what?
Progressive. I'm trying to see it. Oh, that's fantastic. How is crap progressive?
Well, it's a bad word.
Well, sure, it's a curse word.
And it's associated with all bad things. There's nothing good about the word crap. Unless it's, well, I can't think right now, but I do have an answer for that one too, but I really don't recall what it is. But, you see, there's something about a bad word that's evil. It's sinful. It's negative. That's the most important thing. The word crap is negative. Mm-hmm. There's nothing positive about the word crap.
So is that what you mean when you say
I don't even like to say it even if I pronounce it correctly. I don't like to say it.
Well, I've only heard you say it once, but in that instance, I have to tell you, evil didn't get very far because I was laughing so hard. Just in that one instance. But I think that's what you mean by progressive, is that it has longer effects than just the word.
It has longer effects because it has effect on the people that hear it, because you remembered it.
Well, yeah, but if it was anybody else, I probably wouldn't have, because I've never heard you use a bad word in your life. And coming from you, it was random, and you weren't even intending to. It just slipped out.
Let me tell you about bad words. From the time I grew up, I wondered what it would be like to do something bad. To use bad language like crap. My mother would not have approved of that.
Sure, yeah.
Because of the way I was raised, I wouldn't have approved of it enough to where I never in the world would have said it. Because it would have to bring negative percussions of some kind. Mm-hmm. Some kind of a bad influence into my life. But when I was younger, because I had to be so careful of what I said and what I did, it was not going to be harmful to me or someone else. Mm-hmm. Because, once you say a word, it's gone. Mm-hmm. Once you open your big mouth, it's too late. You've done the damage. Mm-hmm. But I always had this feeling I wanted to do something bad. Mm-hmm. Because I wanted to know what it felt like to do something bad.
Well, like the time you and Grandpa snuck out to see Wizard of Oz, wasn't it Wizard of Oz?
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Oh yeah.
Okay, so back to language. So did you do that? Did you find a way to say a bad word when you were younger?
No, it wasn't a bad word, but it was certainly a heartfelt thing of guilt. Because we were not allowed to go to the movies. Yeah. Part of our religion forbade it. We were not allowed to go to the movies because it was distracting from the good that you should be using in your life.
Yeah, we actually when we did this 2 years ago, we talked about the movie. We talked about that whole movie thing. Yeah, but with the words, so you don't remember ever having used a bad word, and I only remember because I think it slipped out of you once, just totally by accident, and it wasn't at a person; it was at a situation. I think you dropped something or something, and then you were very frustrated, and you said it. And coming from you, it was just so random and bizarre that it was
now that
funny.
You're reminding me that I did say the word. It seems kind of funny.
Yeah, just the once.
It's a little bit comical to me because it's not like me,
and I know, like you.
And I know it's not like me, and I know it's bad, and I shouldn't have said it.
Grandma, it's fine that you said it because it was just me.
It was a little bit of a heart-releasing thing.
Yeah, it gets some energy out there, and the thing is, you didn't direct it at a person.
Oh
You were saying it at the ground because you had dropped something. Next question. What sound or noise do you love?
Water.
Water.
Moving water.
I know you love rain, rivers, the ocean.
Moving water is is soothing.
Yeah.
If it's falling over a rock, cascading over a rock, if it's over a tiny pebble on the ground, just water.
Yeah.
Because, well, do you want me to elaborate?
Oh, if you want to.
Well, a lot of comfort. Grandpa and I used to get a lot of comfort out of going and sitting by the water. That was one of his remedies for healing.
Yeah.
And we used to spend a lot of time, whenever we could, to go down by the water in San Pedro by the harbor, just sit by the water and just listen.
I must have got that from you guys. Yeah.
And listen. There's something, I used to have some tapes that had waterfalls and things, because there's something extremely healing about water.
Yeah, there is.
In reality, chemically, there has to be something healing about water. Or as a matter of fact,
But you need it for life.
as a matter of fact, this goes way back to the days of Jesus' time and before. They used to keep tear bottles. And whenever somebody died, they shed tears, and they would shed the tears into a bottle and save them.
Yeah.
They were tear bottles.
Now, I know that they did that. I don't know why. Why did they do that?
Well, for one thing, I guess it's by very old, many years, they have known that chemically there is healing in tears. And that's why we cry.
Yeah.
Because it's healing.
It is.
There is actually a chemical in your tears, in your water, in your eyes.
Yeah, it releases stuff in your brain. It's healing.
That is very healing.
Yeah. Okay, so then the flip side of this. What sound or noise?
There's a flip side?
Well, yeah, what sound or noise do you hate? So you love the sound of moving water. What sound or noise do you hate?
Clashing, something falling to the ground all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
A harsh,
Like pots and pans falling on the floor?
Oh, yeah, if you knock a bunch of pots and pans on the floor.
See, that's probably why you said crap, because you dropped something, and I remember you were near the kitchen. So it all comes together. It all makes sense now. Yeah, I hate that sound, though. Any hard falling, crashing sound?
Well, because it's a final sound.
Yeah.
It's because once the crashing's done, it's done. There's no more noise. It's a sound of finality.
I was going to say, it sounds like it's the finality about it.
It's the sound of finality.
Huh.
And that can be hard because you can take that in so many ways in life. So.
But the sound just gets to you.
The sound.
Interesting.
Extremely negative. Extremely negative.
Okay, so what you had, I mean, especially for a woman of your age in that time, you had an amazing career. Because even though they called you a secretary or an assistant, I mean, you were essentially a vice president of that place. But what other job, if you could have done any other profession, what would you like to have done? You know, if you had the opportunity to go to school and do anything that you wanted to do, what profession would you have wanted to do?
A psychologist.
Really? I would not have guessed that.
Because it's a sense of helping somebody. Psychology helps people.
See, that's interesting because I got the sense from other conversations that you didn't think much of psychology.
Well, it depends on how you want to put it. I never believed in running to a psychologist every time you turn around, like some people do. Every time you got a problem, I'll see my psycho. That doesn't work for me.
All right, then at what point?
However, if you can ease a troubled mind, there's nothing more spectacular for you to do.
Yeah. That's true. Well, what about if those people who are turning around and running to their psychologist because they have a problem, maybe what if that's what they need to ease their troubled minds?
then I'd say they're running in the right direction.
Okay. That's just interesting. Okay. See? You managed to surprise me. I would not have thought that.
Why?
Well, I think because of other conversations.
Just out of curiosity, if you're permitted to answer now.
Yeah, well, we don't have a whole lot of formal rules in this joint. This is just you and me making it up as we go along. Just because of other conversations we've had about psychologists and your feelings about them, so I wouldn't have thought that you...
Well, right off the bat, the first thing to think of is weakness.
Yeah.
And you know me, I don't like to think of weakness.
Right.
Weakness is catching. It's negative.
Well, here's the thing, and I actually had a friend who I was actually I wasn't in grad school with. He was in grad school when I was at UC Irvine, getting ready to go to graduate school, and he was getting his master's in psychology, and then he went through some really big trauma. His wife had an affair, and they got a divorce, and it was awful. It was just awful. And I said to him, well, why aren't you going to, we're all your friends, but why did you go, And he said, well, I can't do that. I'm like, why? Well, why not? I mean, you believe in it enough to want to do this for a living.
But it's personal.
But why wouldn't he then, he's like, well, because I don't need it. And it was really interesting because from him, it was like, we're going to pause that. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, hey, Maria. I'm trying to figure out how to pause. Okay, so, it was just interesting because he felt like he could be a psychologist, but that if he went to one, that would mean he was weak. And I said, well, then you must not think very much of the people you want to come to you for help.
See, there's a difference between psychiatrists and psychologists.
Okay, well, so I know the technical differences because I went to grad school for all this stuff. But what is it? How do you see that difference?
Well, I see it as one that gives them the right to hand out pills if they want to.
Well,
See,
psychiatrists can do that because they have a medical degree.
As a psychologist, I don't want to hand out pills.
Right.
I want to hand out real life.
Right.
Real life issues that you have to face and tackle.
Right.
That pills do not take care of.
Right.
Pills have their place.
Sure.
But not for what I would want.
Well, yes. So then, but that's interesting because you would want to do that, but you would still have a hard time going to that yourself because you would feel like you were weak for doing that, for getting help.
Not if I'm trained, of course not.
No. I mean, for you, like if you needed help.
Oh.
So that's what I'm talking about. The difference between wanting to, like, you think it's a good thing for you to be able to do.
For instance, I had a psychologist here before.
Mm-hmm.
I asked for them to come back.
Yeah.
I didn't think I needed them anymore. She was here today.
Yeah.
And even then, I had a question in my mind. I didn't ask her, but I thought, now, why did she ask me that question? That was kind of unnecessary. And yet I was glad she was here.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad she answered the question. And the way I answered it, I guess she was satisfied. She said something, I forget what it was now, but she said, well, that's interesting. And we let it go at that. But there's something about a psychologist, if you trust them and you know that their motives are in line with what you need or you want or you think you need or think you want, then it works out okay. It turns out to be more positive.
Yeah.
You see, it has a tendency to lead more towards the positive than the negative.
If you have a good one, absolutely. Here, let's get you a sip of water. I'm going to pause. Okay, so now that Maria has come to sort dinner out, what profession would you not like to do? What profession would you just go, never?
Mechanic.
See, that surprises me too.
Auto mechanic.
Auto mechanic, okay. Why is that?
It's too negative. I wouldn't enjoy it. Nothing about it I would enjoy.
Really? Because you're so good at tinkering and fixing and doing stuff.
I like to be with merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
If it's on the shelf, to accumulate it and sell it, like Stanley Home Products. I got a good product going there.
Right.
Something I don't mind handling merchandise.
Mm-hmm. But fixing stuff would be negative to you?
No, I love to fix things.
Yeah, that's why mechanic surprises me. So it's
But
just
not
car
an
mechanic.
not an auto mechanic.
It's interesting. Why is that negative? Why does that feel negative?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the grease.
Yeah.
Slippery, slidey grease.
Yeah. Well, and also if you didn't have trustworthy auto mechanics, it would make you feel like I would never ever in a million years, you couldn't pay me enough to be a lawyer, because at this point, after my experience,
Oh, that's another one.
That's another one too.
Yeah, that's another one. I wouldn't want to be a lawyer either.
Yeah. Okay. So, McKenna, see, you've managed to surprise me yet again. Interesting. All right, and our last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well done.
Very nice. And we have finished our Bernard Pivot questionnaire from the Actors Studio. Thank you, Dave.